According to a survey from the group Faith in Public Life conducted by Public Religion Research, Barack Obama is leading John McCain among Catholics of all ages, 51% to 40%. Joining us now is Kerry Kennedy, daughter of Robert and Ethel Kennedy, and author of the new book, Being Catholic. Now, prominent Americans talking about change in the church and the quest for meaning. And there is the book right there. Kerry, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here, Nora.
First, let's talk about this new poll. Concluded that attitudes about abortion, legal recognition of same-sex relationships are changing among young people. What do you think is behind that?
Well, I think that there's a change in people's connection to the old Orthodox Catholic Church, and they're figuring out what works for them, what they want to pass on to their children, and that's really what the book is about.
And yet I thought it was so interesting reading in the papers, even just this weekend in the New York Times, that in Scranton, Pennsylvania, of course the hometown of Joe Biden, where he grew up, that every Catholic attending Mass last weekend heard a special homily about the election. And it was Bishop Joseph Martino had ordered every priest in the diocese to read a letter warning that voting for a supporter of abortion rights amounted to homicide. And I want to read part of that letter. It said, quote, "Being right on taxes, education, health care, immigration, the economy fails to make up for the error of disregarding the value of human life. It is a tragic irony that pro-choice candidates have come to support homicide." And I apologize, we had a full screen for that. But what's going on with the Catholic Church now that they're preaching from the pulpit that abortion is more important than every other issue?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was actually campaigning for Obama in Scranton last weekend, and this is such misinformation that's been put out there by certain people for years and years. The truth is that the number of abortions goes down dramatically under Democratic administrations. It went down by 34% under the Clinton administration and increased by 14.2% under Bush-Reagan. Why? Because the Democratic administrations fully support a group of 4 or 5 issues, which programs which dramatically increase or decrease the number of abortions. And those.
So what do you tell Catholics then who come up and say, listen, I was just in church and the priest says I should be voting on life. It's homicide that some of these politicians are endorsing, and that these issues that it's more important than every other issue, including the economy. That's what they're preaching from the pulpit.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, as you can see from the survey, is Catholics dismiss them. Yeah. You know, they dismiss the bishop, the Vatican on birth control, and they're going to dismiss this on these issues, particularly in this economic time when they're really worried about health care, they're worried about jobs, they're worried about whether or not they can send their kids to college. Those are the issues.
I want to play for you. There was a very spirited town hall meeting that John McCain and Sarah Palin were at in Wisconsin this morning. I want to play for you what John McCain had to say about the issue of abortion and life.
I am proud of my pro-life record. For many years, I believe that life begins at conception. And I don't know if you heard Senator Obama when Rick Warren asked him, and he said, quote, "It's above my pay grade." It's above Senator Obama's pay grade, the issue of the rights of the unborn. Remarkable.
Did Obama make a mistake by answering that way about when life begins, that it's above his pay grade?
You know, I think this just shows one more ridiculous thing. Here's John McCain. He's been in Congress for 26 years. He has the power in the Senate to pass legislation on abortion. The Republicans have been saying this since Roe v. Wade. They haven't done a darn thing about it. And meanwhile, the Democrats and Barack Obama in particular has always supported this legislation, which actually does reduce the number of abortions. So if that's your issue, you should vote Democratic.
All right, Kerry Kennedy, congratulations on the book. Thanks so much for talking about it. We appreciate it. The economy is the number one issue, I think, for most voters. But there are a number of Catholic voters. People don't realize how many voters, and especially in the key states of Ohio and Pennsylvania, may decide this election. We appreciate it.
Thank you.